Hello, BookTube. I'm back here with a video about science fiction anthologies. This is, I guess, a starter kit for science fiction anthologies, and to deal with basically classic science fiction, so pre-1965, for the most part. There's some overlap and some newer stuff in a few of these volumes, but for the most part, this is for classic science fiction. And there's no set number here because I'm just pulling out a few that I have, as well as a few that I don't, but ones that are still in print, and then we'll go into some that are not in print, but that are definitely worth chasing down if you are so interested. Now we'll start out with this one here. It's The Ascent of Wonder, The Evolution of Hard SF, edited by David G. Hartwell and Catherine Kramer. And it's a collection, as it says, of classic short stories. And an introduction by Gregory Benford. Now, this is the UK edition, and it is quite substantial. And the names you can see on the back there that are in here, well, you probably can't see that, but this was published in the United States by Tor in 1994, and first published in Britain by Orbit in 1994 as well. Now, it's got, as I say, a slew of stories. Ursula K. Le Guin, Arthur C. Clarke, Hal Clement, Robert Heinlein, Dean Ing, Hilbert Schneck, Philip Latham, Edgar Allan Poe, Kate Willem, Isaac Asimov, Anne McCaffrey, H.G. Wells, Larry Niven, John W. Campbell. I'm just sort of pulling out a few here. Paul Anderson, Raymond F. Jones, Frederick Pohl, James P. Hogan, Gregory Benford, Alfred Bester, David Brin, Werner Vinge, I think it is, yeah. And it clocks in at just under 1,000 pages, and it's a very, very good curated volume. There is a little bit of there's an essay, as I say at the beginning, by Gregory Benford, and then each story has a little paragraph putting that story and the author in time and place. A newer one that's come out that actually is pretty good. It's The Origins of Science Fiction, edited by Michael Newton. And it's a naked hardcover by Oxford University Press. It's one of their Oxford World Classics hardcovers. And it was, well, it says from Mary Shelley to W.E.B. Du Bois. So this is really sort of older stuff. It's the origins. So if you're interested in that, this is a very good, very, very good anthology. It's got Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley. It's got Poe, Hawthorne, Fitzjames O'Brien, George Eliot, Grant Allen, Frank R. Stockton, Rudyard Kipling, H.G. Wells, E.M. Forster, Arthur Conan Doyle, Jack London, and W.E.B. Du Bois. So this is a very good, and this was just came out, I think, this year, I believe. Yeah, 2022. So that's definitely worthwhile. Let me try to put these somewhere. So set them there. And an older one, but it's gone through many permeations, and it's still very good. It's the Penguin edition of a science fiction omnibus, edited by Brian Aldiss. It used to be, when he first did it, very, very slim. This is the, not sure which edition it is. I'm not sure if it'll tell me. It's several editions on, but this was published in 2007. This edition, and it's still available. And it's a really good survey of short science fiction. It's got John Steinbeck, Robert Sheckley, Asimov, J.G. Ballard, Frederick Brown, Greg Bear, Bruce Sterling, Catherine McLean, Asimov, James H. Schmitz, and Brian Aldiss itself, and James Tiptree Jr., and Cliff Simak, of course. Let's see. James Blish, A.E. Van Vogt, Bertram Chandler, Damon Knight, Walter M. Miller Jr., H.B. Fife, Ted Chiang. Story of Your Life is in here. So yeah, it's a really good compilation, anthology. Another big one that everybody seems to get, which is a good survey, is the Big Book of Science Fiction. This is edited by Anne and Jeff Vandermeer, and it's a honking one. It runs in at almost 1,200 pages, but it's double columned. And it's got a good essay at the beginning about science fiction. And it's a pretty good survey, too, of science fiction from H.G. Wells up until probably about the time that it was published, which was, let's see here, 2016. And it's I think there's pluses and minuses to this one. It's a very checkboxy thing, so things get in here that you may question for the quality, but because it fits the checkbox, it's in here. But the interesting thing is that there's a lot of newly translated stories, or several, that are in here. So that makes it very worthwhile. And this is still available to buy. And it's by Vintage Books, division of Penguin Random House. Now, there are tons of anthologies out there. But these are ones that I'm aware of at the moment that I think are pretty good and worthwhile as a starter. And there's also by David G. Hartwell and Catherine Kramer is the Hard SF Renaissance. That's a very good one as well. It's almost a companion to the Ascent of Wonder. Is it Ascent of Wonder? Yeah, the Ascent of Wonder. And then there's the science fiction Century, edited by David G. Hartwell. I believe that's still available. It's a bit bright. Let's see if I can tone that down a bit so you can see it a little better. Yeah, it's a little better. But that's just by David G. Hartwell. That's the editor. Now, there are a number of other ones, older ones, that are going to be difficult possibly to get, that are out of print. There was there's a couple of these that are still in print, so I should actually add this to the original list here. And it's the Science Fiction Hall of Fame, the greatest science fiction stories of all time, edited by Robert Silverberg. This is the original cover of it, but I believe it's still available. There were originally 5 volumes published, and volume 2A was edited by Ben Vova. It's the greatest science fiction novellas of all time. And part 2B, it's the continuation of that by Ben Bova. I believe these 3 are still in print. And then the third one, which is the 4th volume, is Nebula Award winners 65 to 69, so later, edited by Arthur C. Clarke and George W. Proctor. But as I say, there are other ones. If we go back, this is a good one, a Treasury of Science Fiction, edited by Groff Conklin. And that was pretty well put out by sort of a bargain sort of publisher. So this should be quite reasonable to find as a used copy. Another one is Treasury of Science Fiction by Groff Conklin. That's going to be a little more difficult to get, or not difficult, but a little more pricey. And a fabulous series that's 6 volumes. This is volume 4 here, edited by James Gunn, The Road to Science Fiction. And it basically, he starts with Gilgamesh and comes right up to the present in 6 volumes. It's a really good compilation. And here's 2 great volumes that are, again, used and difficult. I keep saying difficult in the sense that they could be a little pricey. You can find them without the dust jackets. There are book club editions. It's a Treasury of Great Science Fiction, volumes 1 and 2, edited by Anthony Boucher. He was an editor at one time for the magazine of fantasy and science fiction. Yeah, and there's a couple others I don't have scans for at the moment. We've got Adventures in Time and Space. It was done in 1946 by Raymond J. Healy and J. Francis McComas, and he was also they're both editors. And that is one of my favorites. It was done by it was reprinted by the Modern Library as a Modern Library giant. And also, Isaac Asimov and Martin H. Greenberg edited a series of books called Isaac Asimov Presents the Great SF Stories. There's 25 volumes in this because it goes from 1939, a volume per year, up until 1963. And it is one of the best overviews of science fiction of that period that there is. But they're out of print now. There were some hardcovers that printed, I think reprinted about 4 volumes each, but they only did about 15 of them. 15 of the volumes, I think about 5 or 6 actual hardcover volumes. And there's all sorts of ones. Donald A. Wollheim edited SF sort of World Best SF from 1965. And any of those are good for yearly ones. Let's see. There's Kingsley Amis did one here. I think it was by Penguin Alan Lane Books. It's just the golden age of science fiction. But for the UK, the golden age generally is 50s, basically. And anything by an editor called named Mike Ashley or Michael Ashley are worth getting. There's just the list can go on, but one of my favorites is, I've showed this before, for pre-Golden Age, for 1930s, is Isaac Asimov's Before the Golden Age. It is a fabulous book, and it's interspersed. It's more of his personal stories that he remembers reading when he was young, and there's a lot of autobiographical material that's interspersed between the stories, but it also gives a good overview of science fiction pre-1938, and it's a fabulous book. And if you can get it, I think it was done in 3 volumes in paperback, but this is obviously the hardcover of it. So yeah, this is sort of my take on a starter kit for classic science fiction anthologies. What are your favorite anthologies? Are these any of them? Or do you have other ones that you go to all the time as a go-to for classic science fiction? Thank you, BookTube.